Good afternoon, everyone. This is Steve Rao, the host of the Leaders and Legends podcast and show on RadioNyra. And we are so honored today to have with us a good friend of mine and mentor, David Crabtree, who is one of the most respected journalists and storytellers and media icons in North Carolina history. And I'm wearing the PBS hat today because he's also the CEO of PBS Carolinas. But prior to that, for over 40 years, he's been in broadcast journalism, most notably on WRAL as an anchor. I could be here a long time reading your resume. I'm on two of his shows, State Lines and Black Issues Forum, but just a couple of highlights. He's attended presidential inaugurations, the funeral of Nelson Mandela. You delivered a camera to the Sistine Chapel, all kinds of journalist awards. And you're also a recipient of the Order of the Longleaf Pine from the governor of North Carolina. So I'm gonna save it for later in terms of the resume, but it's an honor to have you on the show.
Steve, it's an honor to be here, and thanks for the invitation.
Oh, it's great. This is going to be fun for all of our listeners today. Let's begin. This is a leader show, so what I wanted to do today is talk about the beginning of your career. You know, a little bit more about you and where you grew up, and then what was it about journalism that what triggered you to go into journalism?
I grew up in a small town just north of Nashville, Tennessee, and radio and television was a way of just connecting with the community, with the state, with the world, and it represented to this guy who lived in this small town of 1,600 people that there was something more to life than what I was living. I was living a good life. Parents, two-parent home. My parents were blue-collar workers. There was a very strong work ethic, but they allowed me to dream. Didn't encourage me to, just allowed me to. Did not box me in. So I had this fascination with radio early on. I loved music. I loved radio. I loved the magic of it, and bugged people in the radio business long enough until they taught me what I needed to do to be able to work on the radio, how I would go about finding my first job, all of those things. And Steve, I approached it from the very beginning, and I don't know where this came from, but I approached it as thinking someone is going to have to convince me I can't do it because I know I can. And finally was given a chance. That's the beginning of a broadcasting career. The journalism didn't find me until years later. I love the fact, I love storytelling. I love to be able to read the news to people. There was something empowering about that. But no one taught me about journalism. I never had one moment of official training for what I do.
Yeah.
I just had the ability to communicate.
You were a natural. You had that gift.
It is a gift, and I'm very grateful for that. But also with that gift was the gift of curiosity. I wanted to know why about something. I wanted to know about the person behind the story. The story is the story. It's out there for everyone to see and hear and read about and live into. But what about the person? You know, what makes a person do what they do? What motivates them?
And is that your trip to storytelling? Because people often say that about you, that you've been such a great storyteller. We've all heard your voice and your presence for so many years, but what captivates people about a David Crabtree story is the humanity of the story. Is that something that you think is important?
It's the most important, and the key to it is to be able to listen, to ask about another story, and then get out of the way and let them tell their story.
And that's great. And that's a great segue to one of the questions I was going to ask is, well, first of all, did you have any mentors along the way that helped you get better?
Oh my gosh.
A few that come to mind.
I've had several in different stages and different chapters. And then there are a couple who are just solid throughout for years. One is my friend Jim Goodman, who was the owner of Capital Broadcasting.
Friend of mine.
And he teaches, and he doesn't realize he's teaching. It's the beauty of it. I had been at WREO 3 years and followed a true legend and icon in following Charlie Gaddy, who was amazing in pre-cable days. I mean, he was just this giant in broadcasting. And I'd been there 3 years, still getting my sea legs under me about working in this market. And Mother Teresa died. And he said, I want you to go to Calcutta and cover her funeral. Well, it was daunting to get that set up. In those days, there were no cell phones, there were no small cameras. We had to pack and schlep all this gear across the ocean. But as I was leaving his office the day we were, about to leave, I'll never forget, he put his arm around my shoulder and walked me down the hallway. And he said, when you get there, don't try to do what the networks are doing. They're sending 100 people and I'm sending 3. He said, find stories that will be interesting to people here at home that they want to hear told through a local voice.
Yeah, and
never forgot that.
Local stories, which has always been kind of something that you've always had.
And so I found these stories of people in Calcutta. I found the stories of the nuns who were a part of Mother Teresa's family. I found the story of a highway patrolman who was in a wreck in Massachusetts that had a vision in the emergency room, and all the vision was Mother Teresa, Mother Teresa, and he was there on the streets, working with those suffering with leprosy. I found the story of the Associated Press reporter who hit the button that sent the news to the world that Mother Teresa had died, and that person studied at UNC Chapel Hill.
Wow, that's amazing.
And the way you find those stories is they find you.
Yeah.
Again, you can go in with it with your mind made up of what you're going to do on a story, and if you listen to people around you, you will learn something you never knew. Jim Goodman taught me that. Another mentor who I just spoke with earlier today is Steve Hamill, who was the general manager at WREL that I worked with for 10 years.
I know Steve. Yeah.
Wise beyond his years,
yeah.
Compassionate, tough, high expectations, but humanity always at the forefront. Yeah. Those were mentors that taught me more about myself than they did the technical side of the business. I worked with great writers. I worked with an executive producer in Denver, a woman named Vicki Hildner, who taught me how to interview by shutting up and listening to people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's a great segue into our next area. You talked about storytelling, spending time. You've spent some time with some great leaders. I mean, you've interviewed national leaders, Governor Stein. I was watching your interview on that. Tillis. I mean, so many leaders. What stands out to you, athletes, community leaders? What stands out to you about these leaders? Are there any traits that come out of strong leaders? Are there any, interviews you've done that really stuck with you? There's so many.
Yes and yes. One of the things about being a journalist, and particularly a broadcast journalist, in an area like this, and working for such a blowtorch like Capital Broadcasting that leads the way in technology and thinking and inclusivity and community and all of those things. It's not just lip service, Steve. It's real. But it opens up this world of opportunity. Like when presidents would visit North Carolina, mm-hmm. I would get the call to say, we're offering you 7 minutes to talk with the president. And you would realize if that person likes the questions, if they like the way you present, they'll give you even more time, which happened in each of those cases with governors, with people in high elected office. The common denominator of all of what I remember and what stands out was to find something human about them.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes it's a tougher nut to crack.
Yeah.
but you keep going after it. It was finally asking one president about what it was like to be a grandfather, because I had just become a grandfather at that time.
Yeah.
And it took them by surprise, but they also, you could see their face relax. Oh, let me tell you about my granddaughter. It's the human side. Again,
Human, yeah.
you know, if you're working in local news, you don't want to ask the same questions that the Capitol Hill Press Corps or the White House Press Corps ask all the time, because you're going to get the same answer that all of those folks get. Let them deal with that. I want to know why you wanted to run for office.
Yeah.
What is it about this? What has surprised you most
And that's what we're going to do.
since you become governor?
Absolutely. And at the end of this interview, we're going to try to learn a little bit of things about you to make it a little more human.
You don't want to know about that. Aim higher than that, man.
No, just your hobbies, things like that. But, you know, I mean, that's really great. And I'm just wondering, like, I mean, do you believe that, like, I mean, how many presidents did you interview?
6.
Wow. And that must have been something.
It was amazing. I mean, I would sit there. You talk about having imposter syndrome. I interviewed President Obama,
Yeah.
and we were in the map room at the White House, where Roosevelt, Churchill, and Eisenhower planned D-Day.
The movie's coming out this week.
Yes.
I want to go see that. Pressure.
But I'm sitting in that room thinking, what are you doing here? You are with the most powerful person on the planet, and you're here? How did you end up here? And oh, by the way, you've got 7 minutes, and oh, by the way, you've got White House press secretary standing right in your line of view with a stopwatch, and oh, by the way, the president is right there in front of you. He's going to filibuster his answer, so you only get about 3 questions in. And what allowed me to have more time with Barack Obama was to talk with him about playing basketball when he worked out with the Tar Heels.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And had a head fake on someone.
Wow.
Now, I was criticized roundly for doing that, because a tornado had just come through North Carolina and killed 4 people over the weekend. And it was like, how could you even talk about something light like that? And I said, because this man is carrying the weight of the world. We talked about tornado relief that was coming to North Carolina. Let's move on and talk about something else.
Right.
And so we ended with basketball. They gave me an extra 90 seconds with the guy.
That's fantastic. And
you
interviewed Republican presidents, Democratic
Oh yes,
presidents,
oh
and all these
yes.
presidents.
You know, Ronald Reagan was the first president I had the chance to talk with briefly.
The Gipper.
Yes, when he was speaking at Duke back in 1987, and I was working at WITN down in Beaufort County. I mean, again, I would have imposter syndrome, but my knees never shook. It's like, you're here doing a job, just do the job. And if your colleagues laugh or go like, what are you?
And you've done a lot of governors before we get to the next part. You know, Cooper, Hunt. Did you do Jim Hunt?
Oh yes, several times. Mike Easley, Beverly Perdue, Pat McCrory.
Yeah, I did McCrory last week.
And now Governor Stein. And
yeah, each one has a different style, but
they each have a different style. They each know how to filibuster. They each know how to take their time. And it's like, okay, I'm on your turf. I'm in your space, although this is the people's home when you're at the executive residence. It's the respect you have to pay to the office that they hold.
yeah,
And the fact that they're granting you a half hour of their time.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Well, you know, as journalists, you can live in a world of entitlement at times. I wanted to live in a world of gratitude.
I mean, you wonder how busy they are. This the schedule from the time they get up till they go at night. The whole state, right?
People have no idea. Until I took this role at PBS North Carolina as CEO and general manager, I had no idea of the demands that can be on the time of a person running an organization, because I had never run one before.
Now tell me that, that's fantastic. And you retired in 22, and all of us
I tried to.
Yeah, we were all kind of sad, but also so proud. Oh, he's retiring. and then you go to PBS Carolina to become the CEO. What motivated you to make that shift, and then why do you think public programming is so important, or what do you want the listeners of the show to know about public broadcasting?
Well, I love the questions because I had loved public media before I was officially involved with it. With what years ago was UNC TV, I'd done some documentary work there. We had a partnership between WREL and UNC TV. Jim Goodman, huge supporter of public broadcasting. And so I knew about it, and I knew the role it plays. It is niche programming that is for everyone in the state, and it's free. It is an opportunity for people to get information that they are not going to get anywhere else. And we're part of emergency broadcasting. We keep the state connected in all 100 counties with emergency work. And so we're like a twin engine plane that flies with both of those engines going at the same time, education and public safety. So I love that. It found me because of the president of the UNC system, Peter Hans, reaching out to me. I'd known Peter for 25 years, and we trusted each other, and he reached out to me to see if I had interest on an interim basis of leading PBS North Carolina. And I said, well, what does interim mean? Because if you're looking for someone to just keep the trains running on time, I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I need a leader there who knows television.
Right.
And the more I thought about it, the more I talked with people, such as Jim Goodman or Steve Hamill or others, it was, I realized it was an opportunity that I wanted to do. I still had 2 years left on my contract at WREL. And I remember Goodman did say to me, why don't you just take a victory lap and enjoy yourself and relax? And I said, I've got too much I want to accomplish. I said, Jim, you wouldn't take a victory lap and relax. Look at you. I said, so how can you expect me to do
exactly?
this?
And if you're listening to the show,
I love the work.
We're going to be working on some platforms to help PBS learn more about it, but just dial into, turn your TV on to Channel 4. And you watch State Lines, which is on Fridays and Sundays. I've been on there. Black Issues Forum. It's been a really good honor being a part of your program.
And if you like music, well, we're glad to have you there. But if you like original North Carolina music, we just wrapped up season 2 of a program called Shaped by Sound. 13 episodes in each of the seasons. And it's original North Carolina music, ranging literally from Murphy to Manio, and all different genres of music. And it has grown its audience, and people around the country are taking note. We're not trying to compete with Austin City Limits and do the same thing they do there. We want this to be about original North Carolina music, and we're really proud of that program.
Yeah, that sounds.
Take a look.
I mean, it sounds good.
Come on and sing.
Yeah, well, that's great about your public programming, and we think you're doing a great job. Let's talk about North Carolina. We got about 10 more minutes left, but let's talk about North Carolina. You've seen over your 44 years a transformation in the state. What are some changes that come to mind of this is really where you saw the state changing, and are you optimistic about the future? I mean, we all have challenges, but what do you think about North Carolina?
Number one, always hopeful for the future. Always. If you're not, you're going to be doomed to failure. What I have seen number one, I've seen the state grow and change, not only physically grow with the population growing. I've seen culture change here. I've seen those of us who've been here a long time change as well. Sometimes we view change and either we embrace it or we're threatened by it, and we don't stop to think, well, I've changed along the way too. About a year ago, and you and I have talked about this, I emceed an event in Cary for the Asian population. And there were 500 people there that night. When I came here in 1994, I assure you, there would not have been 500 people there. Yeah. So you look at the diversity of cultures that are here. You look at a state that one time was steeped in conservative politics. and it still is.
Yeah.
But we are purple. We're absolutely purple. We're no longer red. We're not yet blue. We are purple. There are a lot. The growth has brought so much new energy around ideas. I mean, the technology in this area and healthcare and the university system, that's been there since I was here. But to see how it has grown and developed, and to see how communities are welcomed and embraced, is a real change in culture. And I think that's really significant. I remember when I took the job in 1994, I was working in Denver. And a friend of mine was Hillary Clinton's press secretary at the time.
Yeah.
And I was on a call with her, and she said, "Where are you going? I thought you were on your way to Philadelphia," because I had been recruited by a station there. And I said, "I was, but I'm going to WRAL." I said, "It's in Raleigh." And her immediate response was, "Oh my gosh, you're going where Jesse Helms represents?"
Yeah.
And that was a stereotype that fell on this state.
Right.
Now that stereotype that was there in 1994, oh yeah, Helms did serve there, but also now you've got Roy Cooper running for the Senate, a Democrat who's never lost an election. You've got this rich history of both parties being represented. Yeah, you have different things happening at the General Assembly, but pendulums always swing. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about this, Steve. In the midst of all of the change here, Democrats have been in control of the General Assembly for 100 years.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah. And now it's
ruling by iron fist for 100
And then things
years.
shifted. Now that's a great segue.
And they shifted in 2010. Now the Republicans have been in charge for 14, 15 years. And my gosh, when that happened, you would have thought an earthquake had happened in this state. It was like, time out, guys. Time out. Just because you're giving up control, you think everything else that's happening is wrong.
That's right.
Isn't there common ground for us?
And that's a great segue. We've got 5 more minutes, but division, trust. A lot of times seems to be broken in our system today. This is important for journalists, trust, right? The trust you build with the people you're interviewing. How important do you think this is for us to address, and how can journalism play a role in building trust? And we could do a separate interview on that, but just what are your thoughts on that?
Show some humility. We as journalists are also human beings. We are not robots. We get it wrong sometimes, or we may miss the context. We may be all speaking the same language, but our interpretation of that language is different. And it is okay to say, "Governor, I missed that. I want you to talk about it now. I missed it." You're not saying I was wrong, but
or take ownership
and take ownership and bring to the table. Even if you're amazed at someone in elective office, of how could you think that? If that's what you're feeling inside, my gosh, how could you believe that? To sit and talk with that person and say, "Tell me why you believe this.
Right.
Convince me.
Have that humility. And this is important to build that trust with each other.
And Steve, that takes time and effort, and it doesn't change overnight. But if you don't try, you'll never change anything.
Build relationships, look each other in the eye rather than on the keyboard.
Oh my gosh, yes. I think. So I am hopeful. I just hope more journalists will be open to realizing you're not always right.
For the young leaders of today, I'm a father of a journalist from husband. And what is your advice to young journalists?
Never turn down an assignment. That's my first advice.
Okay, all right.
Never turn down an assignment.
Yes.
No matter how rote, how boring, how insignificant you may think it is, it matters to someone. And if you say yes today, the next time an opportunity comes along, you're going to be thought of first.
Yeah.
And you're going to be given another chance and another. And by the way, you may find something out there you weren't expecting that changes your life.
Right. And in podcasting and different things, that the way we deliver these platforms is changing. So
Oh yeah, embrace
the change.
Embrace it. Try it.
As we close out this interview, we got a minute and a half left, but what are you the proudest of in your 44 years? What do you want your legacy to be? I mean, is there any, what do you've done a lot. We all feel like we know you in some way. We heard your voice, watch on TV.
I hope people will remember me as being fair, being kind, and just giving a damn about what happens in our world around us, and realizing that he didn't take himself seriously, but he took what he did very seriously. If I can be remembered that way,
it's been a good life.
It's almost like a hug from my children.
In my last minute, we're going to end. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to end with rapid fire, just some fun. Yeah. We do this in every show. Are you an early bird, or do you stay up late and
both?
Early riser.
Both.
Okay, you already answered the question about mentor. What's some of your favorite food?
Mexican and a good salad.
Favorite movie?
Oh wow!
One or two.
Okay, here bookends: Sound of Music and Shawshank Redemption.
Me too. Books? Anything that you've read recently?
I just reread Les Miserables by Victor Hugo.
Ooh, I want to read
780 pages, but I escape into it, and I'm reading a book about C.S. Lewis and his early radio broadcasts on the BBC, and that's how the Screw Tape Letters came about. We're
going to learn more about your favorites when you bring you back on, but folks, it's been an honor to have one of the leaders in North Carolina journalism, David Crabtree, with us on RadioNyra, and I want to thank you for our friendship. As John Chambers always says, friends for life, and it's been an honor to know you, and it's been a great honor to interview you on the Leader Show.
Thank you, Steve. You're a good man. Thanks for having me on.
It's been an honor.
My pleasure, man. Thank you.
That's it. We'll see you next week for our next show, The Leader Show, and we've had David Crabtree. It's been a great honor on RadioNyra. Thank you, everybody.